to begin with an opening statement. Coach Hack, you have the floor.
Thanks, John. It's tough to sit here and think of this being a positive, but I do think we took another step in the right direction tonight. This is a tough place to play. New England, give them a lot of credit. They're a well-coached team. They're a really good team. I'm really, happy with our performance for about 70 minutes of that game. We're so close to being a really good team. We're not there yet, but at the same time, you come back from a goal down at halftime and give our guys a lot of credit for creating multiple chances and getting an equalizer. Thought we should have got another one. I thought we did, actually, but I have no idea how that one got called back. But at the end of the day, this is a position that not exactly what we wanted, but I think we're still making progress.
Thanks, Coach. We'll go to questions. Tom?
John, you talk about making progress. Are you guys just going to run out of time, you think, on this season with the situation you're in now?
I mean, we could, Tom, but right now I think we just have to focus on ourselves, and every time we get an opportunity, trying to be better than the last, time. And while that might be hard for fans to understand that we just beat the Galaxy and now we come and draw New England, I mean, you go on the road in this league and you play in a tough environment, tough surface, well-coached team. You go down, a goal. Like, I thought we showed a ton of character, and so I'm banking on that character. And I personally believe that we're not out of time yet. We still have control. We have to fix this little moment where we take our foot off the gas, where we don't play with the same initiative that we do to start the game. That's something we can fix. We have fixed it. We have gotten better. So, I'm positive Pete here, Tom, and I'm going to say it till I'm blue in the face, but I believe in this group of guys, and I still think we have a good chance.
Well, we'll stick with the positive side for a moment. When you bring Klaus in there in the second half, it seems like everything just gets energized right away.
Yeah, I mean, bringing Klaus into the game is great. I mean, I would look at Simon Becher and how he played for the 85 plus minutes he was in, 86. He was amazing. The work rate that he was doing was incredible. So it was really nice to have him and Klaus on the field at the same time. Nice that we could adjust to go to a back three and really put them under pressure and not give up any opportunities when we do that. I thought our guys really, when you make a change like that, it's difficult, but give our guys a lot of credit for adjusting and adapting, understanding a completely different role and system that we were going to play, and then going after it. I thought Rask came on and did a great job. I thought Nupfi, created several opportunities. So there's a lot of positives from that second half performance.
Next, we'll go to Justin.
Hey, Coach. Obviously, we talked a lot of this week heading into this game about how big of a moment this was for Henry Kessler, and to have him score that first goal off that header where he kind of had to manipulate his body in air to get his head on it. And what did you see from his performance tonight, and especially playing it, like you said, in a tough environment as well?
Yeah, I mean, this was probably asking a lot of Henry to come back here to the only other team he's had in the MLS. They clearly like him here a lot. I mean, they showed, you guys probably don't know, but they've showed a kind of like a Kessler highlight reel in the pregame, and the fans were going crazy. That's something that a player has to deal with emotionally. But for him to score the goal, fantastic. Unfortunate that he slips on the first goal. I really think that was just one of those unlucky plays, and the surface has a lot to do with that when it was getting a little wet. But he stayed in it, he dug in deep, went to a back three, and he's the only guy in the middle and played really brave. So I think there's a lot to build on with Henry's performance.
And then that change to the back three, it seemed like New England had a pretty good time just kind of dissecting the space and the formation before that change. What were you kind of seeing and hoping to see out of that change to that back three that you then saw momentum in the second half?
Well, it wasn't that I don't think, I thought we started the second half in a good way. So, but to bring Klaus onto the field, we knew we had to make some adjustment. And I thought, Seti and Cello and Adu, Durkin, I just put Nukvi on the field. So you're not taking any of those attacking players out down a goal. So it was more, how do we put on, another player and still be in a position where we can be aggressive and go, press the ball, but, still have a good shape, be compact. And then, with them, the key is not getting played through and then being able to jump them on triggers. And I thought we did that really well, regardless of whether we were in a back four or back three. So that was nice that, the players understood that and ultimately got the equalizer.
Next, we're going to Matt Rocchio.
Coach, in that same vein, when you pulled Becher out and put Jaden Reed in, was that switch just Jaden was the most offensive player you had left, and was it entirely a fatigue thing with Simon? And at the same time, was Jaden's directives when he got out in the field to play aggressive from that left side?
Yeah, absolutely. It was, look, Jaden's been a really good attacking player for us. He gets the assist last week. So putting Jaden on, Simon had emptied the tank. And so, at the same time, we thought we could still get after him. It does give us, we are a team that's played much more in a back four. So that is a much more normal shape for us to be in. And you just watched New England make, I think it was 2 subs, all attacking, gone to, they brought Bobby Wood on, and now they're trying to get, the game winner. So a little bit of trying to make sure that we had some defensive structure back to what we normally do. But the last thing I said to Jaden was, hey man, stay aggressive. We are not playing for a draw right now. We are going to go win this game. I probably should have said this in my opening statement, but I think that's another little growth opportunity for us, is because we could have won that game, late. And we had a couple transitional moments where if we connect, I think we have a good chance on getting that. But getting off topic a little bit.
We'll go back to Tom.
Yeah, just how much was the message throughout this game that we got to win?
Look, we believe that we're going to win, but you also have to respect your opponent and every part of what you're doing. And so I think we showed that when we started the game, we were going after it. The situation of giving up, I'm using the phrase, taking our foot off the grass, not, staying on it. We have to fix that. But then you need to get back in the game. You got to score the next goal. And that makes you extremely vulnerable. And for our guys to literally, go after it in the second half, I think that shows that we are a team determined and very much going for the win. It didn't happen. I'm frustrated about that part, but I'm not frustrated with the performance in the second half at all.
We have time for 2 more with Tom. We'll go with you and then Matt.
Well, quick, how's Indy?
I think he's okay. It was a weird play, but he couldn't feel he couldn't flex his foot at all. Couldn't even feel it. So he went back on and gave us a couple of minutes, but it wasn't going to happen for him to go back in. I think he'll be all right.
And then the other thing, just, yeah, it's the fourth time in the last 6 games you've allowed a goal within 5 minutes of scoring. Is that, are you seeing anything consistently in there that leads to that?
Yeah, I think that we literally, for some crazy reason, when we score, we don't stick to the things that have gotten us in that position. And when you're playing good teams, you can't do that. Well, look, we were unlucky too. We were just flat out unlucky on that first goal. So you have to deal with that. I'm more upset with the second goal and the fact that we didn't correct it in game, and rather had to come into the locker room and show the video of it and then correct it. But that is a problem. And that's what when I'm saying we have to fix something, that's it. We can't keep giving up goals after we, go up. So clearly that's a problem that it's not a new problem. We just have to solve it.
And we'll wrap up with Matt.
Coach, space between the lines seemed to be the biggest issue for those 20 minutes where you guys really struggled. But things seemed to get righted there when you went to the back three. Just how did the issue with the space between the lines, how did that happen? And why did switching to the back three help alleviate that problem?
Again, I want to go back and watch, but I don't think switching to the back three alleviated the problem. I think when we brought Klaus on the field, we just put them under more pressure, and we knew we had to stay compact. I mean, it's one of our key ideas when we are defending, that we're gonna, be compact, and we're gonna jump, and we're gonna be aggressive. To your point, I mean, after we scored, all of a sudden our back line is dropping when our front, Simon specifically, but also Seti and Cello and Indy, when they're stepping, we were not connected, and that is where that space happens. And we had to correct it. I thought we corrected it at halftime before we went to a back three. But obviously, you put on Klaus and the message is clear. Hey, we're going for it. You pull out a defender, and Giannis was having a really good game, so clearly wasn't his fault. And I think that just kind of energizes the mentality a little bit, that, like, at least from the coaching staff, hey, boys, we're going for it.
Hack, thank you for joining us. We appreciate your time.
Thank you.
All right, folks, we got Henry Kessler here. Tom, go ahead.
Henry, what was this night like for you? There was a lot going on for you tonight. What was it like?
It was an eventful night. I knew that going in. Obviously, the goal made it more eventful. Also giving up one on the other end, which I'm really disappointed about. But it was an eventful night.
What do you take away from this? Because you guys really needed a win, and you could have had it, but you come away with a tie.
Yeah, you said it. It's disappointing. We could have had a win, and we had a bad 20 minutes to end the first half, and we get a draw. So we're disappointed with it.
Justin?
Yeah, Coach Hack mentioned the tribute that New England played for you while you're on the pitch today. And how difficult is that to manage your emotions when you have something like that happening, where the people that, have been your fan base for most of your career are now kind of giving you your flowers on the way out, to kind of gauge that with playing a game against them where you want to win? Mentally, how do you compartmentalize those things?
Yeah, I didn't really get to see the tribute. I kind of heard it a little bit during the warm-up. But it was really nice that they did that. I spent 4.5 years here, so it was really nice of them to do that tribute before the game. As far as emotions, I don't think it really changed anything, just because once you start playing it doesn't really play a factor for me.
We'll go back to Tom.
All right, there we go. Unmuting myself is the challenge. Yeah, on the goal that they scored, were you just slipped there as you were trying to turn?
That's correct.
That's got to be talk about a frustrating situation. How I guess I don't know, quantify it, but how frustrating is that when that happens, when you're marking the guy and he just gets away like that.
It was very frustrating. I don't,
Yeah.
I'm not trying to be short. I just don't know how else to describe it. It was very disappointing.
On the goal, it looks like you kind of push back a little bit to get yourself free there and drive it in.
Alex does a lot with set pieces, and it's something we take pride in. And I think we've been really good with them lately, and throughout the year. So that's something we set up, and I got free off of it and was able to put the ball in the back of the net, fortunately.
Next, we'll go to Matt Rocchio.
Coach Hack talked about the middle part of the game there where you guys let up a couple of the goals there, that the lines from between the midfield and the defense just got too big. You guys were staying on your back foot while the midfield lines in them are going up there. How does a miscommunication like that happen mid-game, and how did you correct it?
I think we corrected it at halftime. By then it was too late. We had already conceded 2 goals. And it's how it happens is, I think part of it is mentality that we're working on, and that I can help with, is, making sure after we take the lead, we don't drop off. And, I think we did that a little bit. So, that's on the back line, to make sure we're not dropping too far back. And so I think that's kind of how it happens in game. And then we didn't really resolve it until halftime.
We got time for 2 more with Henry. We'll go back to Tom.
When Klaus came in, what was on that slip of paper that he delivered to you guys?
Yeah, it was a change in formation. We went 3 in the back there for a little bit, just to get more numbers forward, and it paid dividends. So it was a good change. Simon got the tying goal, and then when Jaden came on, we went back to a back 4.
Yeah, how was the 3-back situation? Because that hasn't been used by City all that much.
It was an attacking formation. We were going man to man in the back. We knew we needed a goal, and that's what we did, get a goal.
Henry, thank you for joining us. We appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Thank you, Henry.
Simon Becher here. Tom, go ahead.
Simon, you guys are at a point where you need to get wins. With where everything went tonight, what's it like to get a tie out of this game?
Yeah, I think definitely a lot of frustration in the locker room. Again, I think, putting together a really good performance for less than 90 minutes is something we have to work on. Doing it for 70 or 75 or even 80, we have to find ways to get through, hard periods of time. And I think there's, 15 or 20 minutes in the first half that we have to be able to see that through, because I think we came out in the second half and really showed, our game plan and, how effective it can be. And I think that, definitely really disappointed. Coming out with only a point, but again, something to build on.
The way their goalkeeper played, you got to feel you could have had at least one more goal and maybe more tonight as a team.
Yeah, definitely. I think we generated a lot of chances, and really limited them, outside of those, 10 or 15 minutes where they got a few good looks on goals. But I think, just, having to be a little bit more clinical.
On your chance, it looks like just you got to an open place and Marcel found you.
Yeah, actually, obviously a really good cutback from Marcel, but I think Klaus did a really good job, selling, a little fake there, which I think, maybe throws the goalkeeper off, those defenders off, and allows me to get a pretty clean shot off. I think, a really good ball by Marcel and a good fake from Klaus, because, a lot of people take that ball. Good to, I guess, link up again in that sense, the 3 of us.
Yeah, how'd you like that combination of you and Klaus? It looked like it created a lot of offense.
Yeah, I think it's an exciting thing that hopefully we can continue to grow on. Obviously with him coming back from injury, I think I spoke on it once or twice before, but him and Ras, I think really came in and helped us a lot. And I think when we're at full strength, offensively. You know, we can be a really scary team, and you know, I think you know we saw a lot of good flashes of that in the second half.
Next, we'll go to Justin.
Simon, for you personally, it's your fourth goal since arriving in St. Louis. What has allowed you just to feel so comfortable so quickly and to find the back of the net so often as well?
Yeah, I think, you know, a reason, and the conversations that I had with Hack and Lutz before coming here, I think the reason why it happened so quickly was because there was such a good feeling around my fit with the style of play and my fit with the club and, you know, value wise. And I think personality wise, outside of being a player, I think, you know, stepping in the locker room, you know, made the transition so easy, such a close, like, group of guys. And yeah, I think style wise, I think I, you know, fit in pretty well. So I think, you know, in that sense, it really made it easy to kind of come in and hit the ground running.
Yeah, and Coach Hack and his comments to us before you came in, you know, mentioned your play off the ball and just leading the charge on just away from the ball. Do you feel like that's kind of part of it as well and just fitting your style?
Yeah, I think, you know, our team is one that works really hard and that wants to press and put teams in difficult situations. And yeah, you know, pressing is a huge part of that. And I think, you know, me and a lot of the other, you know, attacking guys are pretty good at that. And I think, you know, when we get it right, we can put teams in some pretty uncomfortable situations. So yeah, you know, obviously I'm the front man, but a lot of credit to Seti, to Marcel, to Indy, you know, Thor, Klaus, like all these guys. You know, I think it's not really at times the prettiest thing, but I think, you know, everyone works really hard to try to put them into uncomfortable situations.
Thanks.
We got time for two more with Simon. We'll go back to Tom.
Simon, in that stretch, that 20 minutes where you guys maybe weren't at the where you needed to be, and that's seems like it's a recurring theme for you guys, that there's just not there the whole 90 minutes. What did you see tonight in those 20 minutes, which basically comes right after you guys take the lead?
Yeah, I think I think it's a little bit more maturity after we score. I think we've kind of seen it in a few games where, you know, we take our foot off the gas a little bit. I don't know if it's, you know, a mentality thing, but I think that's definitely something, you know, we need to do better as an 11 on the field. And then I just think that, yeah, you're going to have to expect that with the quality in the league, teams are going to, you know, solve problems, you know, when you're giving them problems. So I think, you know, I guess credit to New England for solving that. And, you know, it took us a little bit too long to do that because, you know, Roman made some good saves and, you know, our back line bailed us out a few times. I just think we just have to solve that on the field a little bit faster and kind of weather that storm, because it's kind of inevitable. I think it's more so how, you know, on the field we deal with it.
You've seen enough games to know that when the ref goes to the VAR monitor, they usually reverse the call. So when he goes over there in the second half, what are you thinking when, you know, I was obviously has touched Hebert's arm? What are you thinking at that point?
I didn't know what he was looking at. I thought he was reviewing Marcel's goal because, you know, whether or not it was a foul on that. So I didn't really know until he kind of announced that he was looking at both of them. But yeah, I haven't had a good look at either of them, so I can't really comment on those. But
yeah, but did you just have though I guess once you know he's looking at that, just the way VAR rulings usually go, is it like, uh-oh, they're going to get a PK out of this?
yeah, maybe, I don't know. I didn't know actually until after.
Yeah.
I didn't know he was looking at the handball. I thought he was only looking at the foul.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
I wasn't really thinking anything about that because it was a couple minutes ago, I think. So
Yeah, it was. Time had passed. Thank you, Simon.
Thank you for joining us. We appreciate
no
your time.
problem. Thank you, guys.
Thanks, Simon.